we're going to have a chat now with the former West Ham QPR defender and pretty decent ice dancer, third in the final series.
Very good.
You'll never sing that. It's Anton Ferdinand. Hi, Anton.
Hey, Anton.
How you doing? You okay?
Yeah, very good, thank you, mate.
I think the last time we spoke to you, you'd come out of rehearsals, you'd fallen over a few times, but wow, you mastered it. It's something about sports really people in these sorts of shows, you know, Goffey and Ramsden, all these people who've done well because you're very competitive, aren't you? So you won't give up easily, and then when you are actually doing it, you want to win it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I went in there, as I spoke to you when I first said it, first come out, I was doing it, and I went on there, I was like, I don't know where I'm going to get on with it, but I'm going to give it my all. But the minute you get into the competition part of it, the competitive side comes out of you for sure and makes you want to work even harder.
Yeah. Did you think you were robbed, Anton? Or do you think third was about right?
Yeah, bronze.
Listen, the competitor in me wishes I would have won it. You know, my partner Annette, she's a fantastic teacher, a fantastic skater, and deserved to be in the final and deserved to win it. Yeah. But it wasn't meant to be. I'm just happy that I was involved in such a special show, and it being the last of the show.
Yeah.
None in that so nice. It is a privilege and a pleasure to be a part of.
Have you skated since, Anton? You've been.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, good.
Skating. I really love it. I've got the bug for it, and I really do like getting on the.
And the kids, you taking the kids along as well?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. My daughter's starting to get into it, which is good. That's something that we can do together.
Yeah. Do you show off a bit? Like everybody's just skating around, you're doing a triple axel with a pike and stuff? No.
Not even in the rentals, Paul, either. He's not even in the rental boots. He's got his own boots. Turns up like having your own bowling ball.
Good. That's the one thing that is good. I ain't got to use the blue rentals. I've got my own, and the blades are proper.
Yeah.
But I'm not one that goes on there and shows off.
Oh.
That's not me. That's bad.
Oh, well. Oh, yeah, Charlie definitely would. Before we talk about the West Ham and more, you've been working with the people at Sport in Mind, you and Marvin Sordell, haven't you? Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing. You've been talking about the harmful language that sometimes appears on the media front and the damage it can do. Yeah,
I mean, with this campaign, I think it's really, really important that the media start to look at things and start to report with empathy, with understanding what their words can say. I mean, when I've done my documentary, what was it, 5-6 years ago, on my press run, I had conversations with a lot of the tabloids and the media companies. Were saying, like, do you understand that the caption and the headline? Not a lot of people just read that; they don't actually read the article.
Sure, yeah.
It was nowhere near what the actual caption or the headline is.
Yeah,
and they said a lot of the writers don't get to choose the caption or the headline. It's done in another department.
That's true. Yeah. And so often the journalist, I've been there, often the journalist is a bit put out because the journalist writes the story and the subs put the headline or the captions on and you're like, well, that wasn't my intention. Yeah. So there is always a bit of tension between the departments. There have been in the past anyway.
Which I find actually absolutely crazy because if it does have, and it definitely does have a burden and it has a stigma where it puts pressure on the individual and the individual struggles with mental health issues. I'm living proof of it, you know, and the person who writes the actual article, they're emotionally attached to the article. They should be doing the caption and the headline because they're emotionally attached to that article and that piece. And it's only right they should, because whenever someone wrote something about me and the article was good, but I saw the caption and the headline, I blame them, not knowing that it was somebody else.
Sure, yeah.
So they end up having bad relationships with footballers for that reason, you know. And I think that's an easy fix. Let the writer do the whole job, not the bulk of the interview and the bit that really, really gets people. They have nothing to do with it.
No, it is a good point.
About changing the conversation, isn't it? Yeah, sure.
Well, so you want to talk about? I want to play you something. You're aware that Niclas Fulkrug last week got stuck into the performance, got a bit sweary after the match. He wasn't massively impressed with at the way the team played. And Graham Potter, the manager, was asked ahead of the game against his old club Brighton tomorrow about what he made of West Ham's, his comment about the mentality problem among the players and the team.
Well, I think sometimes you have to understand that after a game, everyone's emotional. You know, and it should be that way, because football is about emotion. But when you're a leader, I think you have to accept the emotion, and then you also have to look about it and think about it from a logical perspective. When you don't perform well, there's lots of things that aren't right. It can be that tactically we had some challenges. It could be that there's a baggage that we're carrying from a previous 50 matches with the expectation high at West Ham, and having to deal with the reality of the situation now. That can also play on players' minds. They're only human. So together we have to find a solution. Together we have to improve. Together we have to give our supporters something that is better than what is now. As I said, I think for 13 matches there's been improvements, but there hasn't been in terms of points and the table. And so you have to hold both perspectives, and I will do.
You also said maybe Fulkrug should have kept it in-house and, rather than talking to the media. What was your take on it, Anton? I mean, publicly calling out the team, how does that sit with you?
I think if I was in the dressing room, I wouldn't have been happy. I would have took any type of criticism within the dressing room, for sure. I think, listen, as a West Ham fan, I know West Ham fans think this as well, that him coming out and saying that it's a breath of fresh air hearing a player come out and show that type of care, and the way that he done it, it means that he cares about the club and wants to be there, and he's proven to be a fantastic player. It hasn't quite happened for him yet in a West Ham shirt. But in terms of players inside the dressing room, I'm sure they would have preferred to have kept that in-house. But ultimately, the most important person in this is Graham Potter. And the way that he articulated and dealt with that situation and dealt with that question tells you everything you need to know about him as a manager. Does he agree with what he was saying? 100% he does, because, listen, mentality is a massive, massive thing in football. 60% of football is mental, so your manager's backing you in terms of what you're saying, but there is other ways of doing it. And I'm sure the manager would have said something similar along the line in that dressing room at the time. But you got a manager who I think is the right man for the job. I think, as you said, he's shown improvements on the pitch, just not in points. And as we know, it's a points-driven game. Sure. Which why people may not see the actual improvements that he's put into the team. But the camaraderie and the happiness around the training ground and the club, is a lot better than what it was. And I think after the summer, it's going to be a hard summer in terms of ins and outs. I'm sure of that, but that's the same for every football club. Once Graham Potter starts to get a bit more of players that he likes and identify his type of player, I think we've got the right man for the job.
Good stuff. Well, ringing endorsement there from Anton. Good to talk to you, Anton.
Thanks, Anton.
Best. We'll catch up with you soon.
Problem.
Take care.
See you later.
Anton Ferdinand there, former West Ham
I think
defender.
I think the summer can't come quick enough for Graham Potter.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's keeping hold of, there's the Paqueta thing going on. Bowen, there's going to be a lot of interest in Bowen. Kudus is a good player. There's players that other teams want. It's whether they want to generate that money and spend that on other players to rebuild the squad. I mean, it's going to be interesting summer for West Ham.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons 1 till 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.